Hi, my name is Hunter Melson, and I'm doing my speech project on Mel Brooks. To kind of start off with this, I'm going to show a clip from one of his movies, Spaceballs, that he was in. I'm pretty sure everyone has at least heard of the movie, so that's why I think it'd be a good attention grabber for this.
You're heard of me? Heard of you? Who hasn't heard of yogurt?
Yogurt the wise. Yogurt the all-powerful.
Yogurt the magnificent. Please, don't make a fuss. I'm just plain yogurt. But you're the one. Yes, I am the keeper of a greater magic. A power known throughout the universe as the Force? No, the Schwartz. Schwartz. Yes, the Schwartz. But yogurt, what is this place? What is it that you do here? Merchandising. Merchandising? What's that? Merchandising. Come, I'll show you. Open up this door. Come, walk this way. Take a look. We put the picture's name on everything. Merchandising, where the real money from the movie is made. Spaceballs the t-shirt. Spaceballs the coloring book. Spaceballs the lunchbox. Spaceballs the breakfast cereal. Spaceballs the flamethrower. The kids love this one. Last but not least, Spaceballs the doll. Me. May the Schwartz be with you. Adorable.
Well, anyways, I wanted to show that because I think it shows a good style of his comedy and how he writes and how he performs and everything, and just to match a name to a face, basically. So now I'm going to show you an Animoto I made that just gives you a brief overview of Mel Brooks. So, as you could have read into it, he was a big entertainer, actor, comedian, creator, director, everything in the entertainment business that you can be, he was. He took comedy as a big part of his life and a big part of his passion. When Forbes asked him about his American dream, he kept it short and sweet, and it was kind of hard to tell if he was being serious about it or not. Let me pull it up. I'll read to you because it's nice and short. It says, when I was a little kid 50 years ago in 1946, I had just gotten out of the army after 2 years fighting in the war. The American dream was a house and a car. Today, the American dream is winning American Idol. It's changed slightly. In another 50 years from now, when the economy collapses and everything is in threads and torn, the American dream then, in 20 whatever, will be a house and a car. That's all he said. You know, in the other interviews of this, they were a lot deeper. They actually might have talked a little bit more inspirational about it. But he just kept it short and sweet, and he added a little humor into it, because I doubt winning the American Idol is his true American dream. The purpose of it, I guess, would be to entertain whoever's reading it, because it's pretty obvious that it's not serious. I mean, maybe the house and the car thing when he was younger was serious, but winning American Idol obviously is probably not his American dream as of now, considering he's won all the awards he's won. The language was really comical, like informal kind of stuff. He wasn't really looking to have deep meaning behind his words or deep inspiration. To me, the response sounds like TMZ came up to him and asked him what he was on the streets, and he just said the first thing that came to his mind. Now, his American dream was to own a house and a car, which I could believe, because back then, after getting out the war, that could be anyone's dream. But with his passion and what he wanted to do out of life, he was a comic at a very young age, and then wanted to be an entertainer, and became a full-time entertainer after leaving World War II and coming home. He's done, like I said, he was a famous director, producer, writer, creator, everything. He's done works like Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, Spaceballs, plenty more. He has a couple scripts that he does for, like, not Broadway, but, you know, the live entertainment theater kind of stuff. When I read this, you can really tell that what he takes out of this is that he doesn't take life seriously. He takes it seriously, but not to the point where everything has to be serious. A lot of his background, a lot of his life is comedy. So that's where he stayed, and that's where he even went with this interview by Forbes magazine. You know, he didn't care that it was a big business magazine. He just wanted to get across some sort of humor in some way. And that says a lot about his background. Now, in connection to my personal American dream is to live a full life, what you love, doing what you love, with who you love, and to overcome and accomplish anything and everything that life throws at you, and basically just to live life with no regrets. You only get one go around at this. Now, similarities I would see between the two is, by the overall tone of his interview, you can tell that comedy is his passion, and it's what he loves to do, and that's how he makes life his fullest and lives it to his fullest. So I think that's a similarity in between them, because it truly shows that comedy is what he loves to do and what he will continue to do no matter what he's faced with. And the difference is, obviously, I mean, personally, in this situation, being interviewed by big business, I want to be a businessman, being interviewed by a big business magazine like Forbes magazine, I would use this opportunity to either plug my business or inspire a little more. Like, you have a little deeper meaning behind the words for anyone that's reading, but he really didn't care for that. He just kind of put his comedy into it and said what was on his mind, quite honestly. And another difference between us, like the American dream, is he seems to know what he wanted to do at a very young age. You know, he was always in comedy and always an entertainer from very, very little. And although I know the gist of what I want to do, and I know the goals I want to achieve, I don't know exactly what I want to do, but that's part of it for me. That's part of the struggle and the overcoming adversity part for me that I think is needed. So that's kind of a difference. But then we go on to not just American Dream, but his worldview. His worldview, I think, is very lighthearted and not deep into it. Again, with his comedy background, like, he just looks to live life to his fullest, make as many people laugh as he can, brighten everyone's day. Like, his worldview is strictly from that of a comedian making other people's lives better. He doesn't really look deep into motivating and inspire people unless they're in the comedy field. Personally, difference-wise, my worldview would tend to be more deep and philosophical, from the perspective of a businessman and how hard you have to work and just wanting to live a life, find a passion, live a full life, live with no regrets, living to be different, not going against the grain of society. And they tend, both of our worldviews, the similarity between them is that they tend to be made by our upbringing. Him being the comedy guy, the entertainer guy, and me being the kind of business where I want to do. In an early age, I knew I wanted to own my own business and go that path throughout life. So I think our worldview is definitely shaped by our upbringing. Now, like I said, if I was to change it in any way, I would rather him use, or me if I was in that position, but him to use the opportunity to inspire others. I mean, there's a lot of people that read Forbes magazine, especially business people and aspiring big dreamers, actors, comedians, writers, directors, anyone in the world of dreaming big in business potentially. I think he should use it a lot to inspire. He has a lot of people looking up to him, so I believe that he should have definitely used more words to inspire or to give advice with people in this. But that's him, that's his personality, that's his background. But truly, in the end, his response really matches his background, his personality, and his worldview, and they all coincide so well. And it really says who Mel Brooks is. And even though it seems like it meant nothing to Mel, his response to his American dream can connect to us all. His attitude is very light on life, and how little he worried about being in a business magazine and not caring who was reading it. He was just saying what was on his mind and wanted to entertain those reading it. And after reading this and like going through and writing the gist of this speech, I always kept bringing back to this one memory I have of last year when I was at Alberta University. I was the vice president at the Resident Hall Association, and we went to a conference at the University of Maryland Baltimore College. It's a mouthful. And the president there was speaking, and what he said with me has stuck with me for a while. And while I was like reading his interview and like thinking about it, like it just kept coming back to me. He ended his speech with "Live life seriously, but don't take it seriously." And I think that's true with everything that we do, and I think that's true with Mel Brooks. If you had heard that, I guarantee he would have connected instantly with it. And that's just what I felt like Mel Brooks would have said. Like something he would have said would be exactly that. But, I mean, he is a great person. He's a philanthropist. He gives back a lot, and he truly knows how to make people laugh and make people's days brighter. And, yeah, I think he's a really cool guy, and I enjoyed doing my project on him. Thank you.